What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. Guys, today we're jumping into part 2 of words that bring blessings. Listen. If you missed part 1 of this little series, you want to go back and check it out. In part 1, here's what we discussed, just to kind of give you, just a recap of what we've already covered on words that bring blessings. The first word is bless. This is a word that speaks God's empowerment over your life. The second word was thankful, how we choose gratitude instead of complaining. The third word is peace, calming your mind and your environment with your mouth. Fourth, love, telling the truth without crushing people. Right, that's a huge one right there. And then number 5, rolling in, one of my favorite ones is faith, replacing fear talk with promise talk. Man, go back and check that episode out, because that episode changed my life, and I'm hoping that when you listen to it, or if you've already listened to it, I hope it's already starting to do that for you. So look, we're not done. Today we are unpacking the next 5 words. These are words that's going to help us move forward when life feels heavy. Listen, when people hurt you, when God is nudging you to step out, when circumstances don't match what he promised. Look, so listen, I want you to pay attention today, and because there's going to be one word that's going to hit you. Typically, there's one word that's going to hit you, and I want you to pay attention to that word, because God is probably highlighting that word, so that you can really move forward in this season. So look, let's go ahead and jump in to the first word of today, which is number 6. Coming in is hope. Hope. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, which is, I called out faith, but faith is also connected to hope. The number 5 word was faith, right? So hope is not about wishful thinking. Like it's a confident expectation that God is still good and still moving. Look, there's no reason for people like us, for believers like us, to be feeling hopeless, saying things like it's always going to be this way. People like me never get a break. This is just how my life is now. Like, that doesn't have to be the case. We don't have to use hopelessness. We don't have to put ourselves in a situation where we're calling ourselves hopeless. No. Hopeful words don't deny the pain. They just refuse to give it the final say. Man, no. Listen, guys. There's nothing like replacing hopelessness or feeling hopeless when we can start feeling hope and say things like, "It's hard right now." It's hard right now, but God is not finished with my story. It's hard. I don't see the way yet, but I know God has one. And a lot of times we don't feel that way, or we're partnering with that other feeling of hopelessness. And I just want to say something, man, because we all go through things. We all go through like challenging things. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be, the loss of a child. It could be the loss of a parent, the loss of a spouse, a brother, a sister, or auntie, or uncle, a really close friend. And usually what I've discovered, the hardest things to go through is death. Those types of tragedies. God creates us all for a specific purpose to manifest at a specific time. God creates all of us for a specific purpose to manifest at a specific time. So back in 2012, quick story. Back in 2012, I got my coffee here. In 2012, I joined a network marketing business. And I'm doing this network marketing business, because quote unquote, I just want to make more money, right? Everyone who joins a network marketing business, Their desire is more money. Period. They sell you on it. They say, hey, do this part-time, do this from home. This is simple. It's, anybody can learn. Anybody can create residual income, all that stuff, right? So I just remember being involved in this network marketing business. A good friend of mine, Ash Stevens, we were working together. And there came a time where we would start talking about real life stuff. And we were talking about real life stuff. And we were talking, and he says, man, don't it feel like if this was going to be the end of time, don't it feel like, God wants us to go in the game at the end? It's kind of like the people that's on the floor in the basketball game at the end is the one that's going to bring it home. So when we used to talk like that, I used to be like, yo, that's deep, right? Because what if this is the end? Like what if we are living, quote unquote, in the end times, and we are at the point where we've got to help to win the game? So we were all created to bring something to the world, to manifest at a specific time. What if your time is now? What if your time is now? That means that there's no time to be using phrases that are hopeless. There's only time that says, man, you know what? God ain't finished with me, and I'm ready to get in the game. I'm ready to do what I've been called to do, because listen, God has not made a mistake yet. There's not one mistake. It's funny because a lot of times we think God made a mistake. Oh, this person has a disability. He can't. That person can't use this part of their body, or this person got paralyzed, and what happened to them? And all of that is for the glory of the Lord. Everything. It's just that with living in the culture that we live in, we pretty much have been cultured to allow ourselves to feel hopeless. Allow ourselves to feel that way. So I just want to say this today. Everybody here that's listening to this, that's watching to this, there's no hopelessness. There's no reason to feel hopelessness. Unless you want to. Like you can feel that way. And if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. Key word is feel. We can change our feelings at any time we feel like it. We can change our feelings anytime we feel like it. So, here's a simple phrase that you can use it, or you can grab, if you will. Yet I will hope in the Lord even here. What does that mean? What that means is, doesn't matter what's happening, I'm going to still have hope in the Lord, even going through this pain, even going through this tragedy, even going through this situation that I don't like, even going through the fact that, my business is not doing what I would like it to do. All of that. Yet I'm going to hope. I will hope in the Lord, even in this situation. Even in this situation. So guys, that is word number 6, hope. Now let's get into this next one. This next one is deep, because I believe most people are missing out on their breakthrough because of this. And this word is a simple one. It's called forgive. Forgive. This is a tough one. But think like this. This is a major key to blessing, to your blessing, to my blessing. If we are holding bitterness, I can guarantee you that blessings are coming far and few between. Jesus said, the measure in which you forgive, the measure in which you forgive, that is the measure that you will be forgiven. So if you don't forgive, don't expect God to forgive you. Man, that's deep. Man, but this person did this to me. Oh, it doesn't matter. You better figure out a way to forgive. We better figure out a way to forgive. I remember the first time this happened to me, where I was in a situation with a friend. Yeah, a friend. And I felt like the friend did me wrong. And maybe. And I remember, man, my wife was mad, man. She was just like, look, I'm never speaking to him again. I'm just like, but it was hard to harbor bitterness. And unforgiveness. It was really hard. And I tried. Look, guys, that was when I realized it sucks to have bitterness. It sucks not to forgive somebody. I remember when me and that friend finally, I squashed it. At the end of the day, I just was like, man, whatever, man. It's over. I'm good. I love you. Do you know how good I felt? Do you know how good I felt? It was one of the best feelings. And I says, wow. This was in, guys, this was like in the late 90s when I discovered this gift. When you forgive, it is a gift. I've got a millionaire formula that packs forgiveness at the very front end, because without forgiveness, there's no way, like at least in my formula, there's no way you're going to be that millionaire. I'm going to write a book about that in 2026. You will hear about this book, and this book is going to teach people how to become millionaires, right? Yeah, this is a preface. In 2026, this book is going to teach people how to become millionaires the way that God has shown me, right? So, check this out. It's tough because it's hard to say I forgive you. It's hard. But see, it doesn't mean what they did was okay at the time. It just means you're okay. You're okay not being chained to it. That's what forgiveness is about. I'm not going to stay chained to a situation that's keeping me stuck like Chuck in a pickup truck. See, unforgiveness leaks into our language, and it causes bitterness, sarcasm, short tempers, like constant criticism. You know what I'm talking about. Like, can I get a witness? Constant criticism is interesting. Like that one right there. Even short tempers, like bitterness. Sarcasm is good too, because sarcasm is a way of saying something without saying something. These are good. Bitterness. Oh, bitterness dries up the bones. Bitterness causes cancer. Yes, it does. So when we're thinking about trying to figure out how do I get through, or how do I allow the blessings to come in, and how do I let go so that I can forgive? See, all of these things are an awareness. Like, we're building awareness. Because without awareness, it's virtually impossible for us to know kind of like where we're like faltering, and where we're falling, and where we're coming up short without awareness. Because sarcasm, I can guarantee you, if you're a sarcastic person, you've always been that way, or you've been like that for a while. You don't even know why you're sarcastic. I know somebody that's very sarcastic, and that person's all like, sometimes it's annoying because I'm like, can you stop that, please? Like, that's so annoying, right? Now, I'm not saying that person is harboring some kind of unforgiveness. I just know that sarcasm sometimes is annoying. But forgiveness, you know what it does? You want to write this one down. It softens the heart. It softens it. It makes it feel better. A soft heart speaks sober words. Like it's kind of like, if I raise my voice when I'm having a conversation because I'm upset, it actually sends an energy out to the person that I'm talking to raise their voice. But when you lower, it's like when you bring down that energy and you just bring it from a soft place. I can feel that right now. All of a sudden, that conversation or situation just changes everything. It changes everything. Like, there's so many stories that I have of letting go, because in essence, forgiveness is letting go. And I remember when I was watching Bob Proctor's You Were Born Rich series. It's on YouTube. You should check it out. I mean, it's not short. It's long. I'm just thinking about you were born rich, which means that, man, what does that mean? It means you were born rich, like rich in ideas, rich in resources. You already possess everything you need to do the thing that you were sent here to do. It's just a lot of time. We haven't been taught how to do that. So I remember when I first listened to that series, and I listened to it on Audible, and he had a section within it that was titled Let Go and Let God. Like, that's something out of a sermon, let go and let God. And I'm saying, like at the time, I was like, Bob Proctor is a personal development coach. He's somebody's like, he's heavy in the mindset and helping people to develop themselves and to be the best version of themselves. Like, what do you know about God? Because at the time, I didn't really know much about him. And no, he doesn't have like some biblical, he's not running around here preaching the quote unquote gospel, but he is preaching the gospel. When I say he's preaching the gospel, or he preached the gospel because he taught people how to think. He taught people how to become more. He taught people how to become better. And one of the tools that he used was helping people to let go and let God. And in that series, he talked about this thing called forgiveness. You have to forgive. And here's the interesting thing about forgiveness. Did you know, I got to get closer here. Did you know that the forgiveness, it's not about forgiving someone outside of yourself. You got to forgive you. One of my mentors, Myron Golden, said this. He says, you are the only person who knows 100% of all the lies that you've ever told to yourself. When the first time I heard him say it, I was just like, ouch. I'm like, yo, that is mind-boggling. I know my mind knows every lie I've ever said to myself. And because it knows every lie I've said to myself, I've got to ask myself for forgiveness for telling those lies. Just like if somebody lied to you. Think about this. If someone lied to you, don't you think you would want them to come back and say, hey man, I'm sorry, I lied, I didn't mean what I said, will you forgive me? The same thing. We've got to ask ourselves. So, look in the mirror today. Go look in the mirror. And this is one of the things I love David Goggins. If you ever listen, he's got a potty mouth. His message, I love his message because his message is one that builds stronger people. He says you got to go look in the mirror. And you got to talk to the person in the mirror, because that is the person you got to get through to. It's nobody else. So you got to go in that mirror, and you got to, in his language, you got to curse that person out. you don't have to. I'm not going to tell you to do that. What I'll say is you just have to go look in the mirror, and you got to talk to that person. You got to ask for forgiveness, and you got to ask that person to help you. Can you please help me get through this stuff, man? I don't know what I'm doing. I can tell you. You know what that person will say to you? Man, I'm so happy you came. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Yes, you're forgiven. Oh my goodness, you're an amazing person. You are, man, I wanted to tell you how awesome you was, but you always talked about how you woe is me, and you felt so ashamed of different things. That person's going to encourage you and say, man, you're great, you're amazing. You are God's gift to the world for what it is that you have to bring, and there's nobody like you. There's no one who ever will be like you, and you have the ability to go change the world that you was created to change. That's what the person's going to say. The question is, will you receive it? Will you receive the forgiveness? So guys, we're just getting started. That's word number 7. Now, before I finish that one, right, I also want to invite you to do something else, right? Because, look, at the end of the day, go to God. I say go to the mirror, but I also want you to actually go to God and just talk to him. Talk to Daddy. Talk to your Father. Talk to him just like you were talking to a friend. And all you have to do from that point is make a decision to forgive. That's it. That's all you have to do. Say this: Lord, by faith, I forgive myself. Heal my heart. and my words so that I can be, or so that I can reflect who it is you said I was from the beginning. That's forgiveness. Word number 7. All right, let's go. Got 3 more to go. And the next word number 8, is serve. Serving language moves you from what about me to how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? Some of the most powerful words you can say in a relationship, in a business, are how can I serve you today? I love Chick-fil-A because when you go to, even though I don't really eat Chick-fil-A anymore, but I love Chick-fil-A for the culture. How can I serve you today? It's my pleasure. How can I support you? What do you need right now? It's nothing like offering help, being of service. There's times when I coach people for free. Because I like to serve. I like to see someone else get to where they would like to go. Like I'm doing that right now. I'm coaching some people for free. And why would someone serve another person? Because you genuinely want to help, right? See, when you adopt the mindset of serving, you shift from chasing money to serving people. Man, see, so I got to put something out here. Guys, I chase money. I was a money chaser. I've got to be honest. I was a money chaser. And because I was a money chaser, I was like, man, am I just doing these things for the money? Am I just doing this for the money or do I love it? So I had to figure out what I love to do. And because I had to figure out what I love to do, I had to start serving. I had to start doing this podcast because I had to start doing something that could potentially help somebody else, and that's not me. So it said this: when you adopt that mindset, you do shift. You shift from that place of I'm just running after the money, right? And because I'm running after the money, sometimes you're not able to serve. You're not able to serve. I can think of so many stories of me not serving or of me chasing money. But just to kind of hone in on this story where I started helping some clients out, not even clients, just people out in their life. And what I started to notice is that when you are genuine, when you think of what someone else needs, what someone else wants, what I've discovered is that, and you can serve them, of course people are going to want to pay you. They're going to want to, because they're like, oh my goodness, this is so valuable. Now, here's the thing though, because if you don't think it's valuable, then they won't think it's valuable. I'll say it again, if you don't think it's valuable, they won't think it's valuable, nor will they know it's valuable. I make it a point to let my people that I'm helping know how valuable it is by showing them how valuable it is, not just me telling them. Well, this client, I let them know who pays me. I let them know how much money people pay me. I let them know how much money I spend to get help. See, because really what happens is people have to know, man, to get to a new level, guys, there's an investment we all have to do. But here's the thing, you have to figure that out. So I figured out how to serve. I got to serve people in a way where they can see for themselves how, oh my goodness, I have to move in this direction. In order to move in this direction, I may have to make some investments. And then when they start thinking about making investments, they're like, or hey, whoever's watching, hey, how can I pay you? Because I want to go faster now. Can you really teach me how to do blah, 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 so that I can get to the next level? Look, when you serve at a high level, I can guarantee you that when you serve at a high level, people will notice. And if you need money, you'll start getting money, right? So, here's what I want you to do. Who can I ask today? How can I serve you? I'm telling you, this was a game changer. It's a game changer when you can serve someone else, and then, because a lot of times you have a problem, right? The same problem you are having, someone else is having. So why don't you go help them? Why don't you go give something to somebody else? Because when you give, you will receive. And even at the manner in which you give, that's how much you'll receive. So that is word number 8, and that was serve. Look, we're almost done now. This next one may hurt a lot of us. And that word number 9, is yes. There is a blessing in a surrendered or yielded yes to God. Ooh, I got stories on this one. I can share with you how yes has transformed my life. I'm also going to share with you how hard it is for most of us to say yes. Look, sometimes we're stuck not because God isn't speaking, but because we're keeping, like we keep saying maybe later, maybe later, maybe later to what He's already told us. And that in and of itself is causing many people to stay stuck. Has God been nudging you on some things? Start a business, launch the program, write the book, forgive that person, even tithe consistently, or just be obedient in a small thing. Like, I want to know, has God been nudging you, or have you been feeling a pull, a calling, if you will? See, a lot of times when we think about business, we think, oh, business is hard. I've had this job, and I think having a job is hard. I think I think having a W-2 job is hard. Here's why I believe it's hard. You have sold a certain amount of time for a certain amount of money, which in and of itself, it's not the worst thing, because we all have to sell time, to be honest. We all sell time. Even business owners, especially a service-based business, we do sell time. We may not sell it like, hey, this is how much you pay us an hour, but we all sell time. It's just that, think about it like this. You're making I was just talking to somebody recently, and they was making about $35,000, or that's how much they had me, like $35,000 a year, working 8 hours a day. I was talking to somebody that was making, $50,000 working 8 hours a day. So what that means is there's an 8-hour block that I've pre-planned to fork over to someone else for what they need to have done. Like I said, this isn't the most terrible thing. It's just the starting point. Like, a lot of times you have to learn. You may need to learn a skill, so you have to go get a job. A lot of times you may need to learn how things work, so you have to go get a job. So starting a business, a lot of times, isn't the first thing that most people would do. However, if someone can give you a path, if someone said, here's the path, and if you go down the path, you can potentially win. It's the same as getting a job. Literally, it's the same as getting a job, because you have to now learn how to be a business owner, business person, entrepreneur, versus learn how to just do something specific at an employer. It's the same thing. It's just there's no guaranteed pay. There's no guaranteed pay, except the pay is better. The pay is better because I can determine how much I'd like to make. So instead of, it's kind of like I go to an employer and they says, well, the salary range, or based on the salary range, based on your skills, based on where you're coming in, we're going to bring you in at $40,000. Or you can start a business and say, well, how much would I like to make? I was just sharing with somebody just last night. I says, hey, start at $250. If you haven't started a business, just make $250 your first objective. I'm not saying you can't make $1 million in 1 year, because you can. You can start at I say you can start at 250. And the reason why I say you should start at 250 is because 250 is the number where most most business owners don't get there. I think it was like 67% of business owners never reach $250,000 in sales. So you immediately go past that 67%, so that then you're in the 33%. Right now you're in the 33%, which is you've made 250, and then from there I believe you can go to $1 million. So if you were starting a business and you said, hey, I'll make 250 my first objective for my first year, or even if it takes me 2 years to get there, even if it does, you can get there in the first year. I've seen people do it. I didn't do it my first year. No, I didn't do it my first year. But a few years later, I did way more than 250. So it doesn't have to take a long time. It's just that if you go to a job and say, hey, I'd like to make $250,000 a year, that's like executive level. Like you're not making 250 just going to a job. Unless you have like 100 years of experience, some major skill. Like, no, it's not happening. 250 is like the cream of the cream inside of a job. So you could choose to make way more money by saying yes. That's the point I wanted to make. By saying yes. You like you want to write a book. Write the book. I don't know how to write a book. I didn't either. I got 3 books, and I got more books that I'm going to write. I don't even consider myself an expert on writing books, but you know what? I'm going to write them. I'm not an expert on writing books, but I'm going to write them. I'm going to figure it out, because when you start a business, the thing that happens to you is that you now start seeing possibilities as, man, I can actually do that. Man, it's not as hard as I thought. Now, you don't get to technically work less hours. You don't technically get to work less hours. Typically, especially in the beginning, you're probably going to be working just as many or more hours to start, because that's your investing time. But you're doing it for yourself. Who wouldn't want to say yes to themselves? Who wouldn't want to do that? Like, your blessing is on the other side of your yes. There are people that I've learned from that, had they not said yes to start their business or their coaching program, I would have never learned the thing that I learned. So because they said yes to themselves, and because what they wanted to do, they decided to do it, I'm now blessed because of it. See how blessings work? It's not about you. A lot of times we're so stuck in the cycle of it being about us that we don't start. Like, this is hard. Look, 2026 is going to be a different year. I'm telling you on this podcast today, I'm going to help people make $250,000 their first year in 2026. I'm going to help people make $250,000 their first year. And it's not going to be because of some shiny object thing. Jay, what business model or what business is going to be? Whatever business you decide to do it in. See, I have to say yes, though. If I don't say yes, you may not ever do it. So I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to where God is calling me. That's outside of the fact that I have a tax strategy business. I have a business that does tax strategy for business owners making 20, 30, hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, even $1 million a month. I have a tax strategy business that does that helps reduce and lower taxes. We were just in front of a small law firm, run by one person, had $100,000+ tax bill for 2025. 100+. We showed him how we could help him potentially eliminate it, and we got it down to $4,000 in taxes owed. And he could potentially get rid of the $4,000 if he wants to. That's different. Helping people to make that initial jump into business and make money. I don't know, the Lord's given something to me. And because he gave it to me, I have to say yes. So yeses don't just affect you, they affect other people, because your blessing is attached to a yes. What has God been nudging you about that you keep on delaying? Please. You don't got to tell me. Maybe you will one day because I'm helping you make that $250. That's not going to be free. What has God been nudging you to do? Like I said, it could be start a business. Business is good because business is a God idea. Business develops your faith at a level that, I don't know, it's just so different, because it feels way better. So business, write a book, do a program. I was on a Zoom call with someone who recently, they was in the military, got out of the military, they're now doing some other things, and God called them to write a book. And he was just at this point of like, man, I'm just like, I said, ooh, it sounds like you're headed into entrepreneur land. He's just like, I said, I bet you did not think you would be heading that direction. He says, I didn't. I said, that's how God works. You don't know exactly where he's calling you, and then you make a step. You say yes to one thing, and the next thing he leads you to another thing, and the next thing he leads you to another thing, and then you're down this path, and you're like, I did not expect that. So God's nudging you. So here's what I want you to say. Lord, I say yes. I don't know the details, but I trust you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean to your understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. God is great, and he don't make mistakes. That's the power of saying yes and trusting absolutely in God. All right, that was word number 9, which right now is feeling like the I can't say it's the most powerful word here, because all of the words are powerful. That's because they all bring blessings. But today, my word is yes. Today's word is yes. But we're going to move on to the last word. And the last word is praise. Praise. Praise is a blessing word because it shifts our focus from problem to problem solver. Man, this is a good one. Being a problem solver, like seeing someone else's problem and helping them to fix it. So it's one thing to praise God when everything is going well, but praise in the middle of a storm, oh man, that's spiritual warfare. Yeah, I got a good friend, man. Darian Claxton. He's got 3-4 devotional books on spiritual warfare, and it's interesting because it's hard, to be honest, it's hard to praise when you're in the middle of the storm. The disciples was on the boat with the Christ, with the Son of the living God. And they knew who he was. He had already demonstrated who he was. So they knew he was. And they were still afraid. They was not praising in the middle of a storm, because sometimes imminent death makes you puts you in a situation where you're afraid. I can imagine if I was staring down the barrel of death, I don't know, like you could potentially not feel like you wanted to praise God. You could potentially feel that way, that you may not want to praise God. So praise in the middle of the storm is better than praise when we're not in the storm. Yeah. Think about it, right? If we just think about faith, faith was from part number 1. And if we think about faith and we kind of like turn that around I'm going through something major in my life. I'm having challenges with my marriage. I'm having challenges with my finances. I'm having problems with my kids. I'm having challenges like in my business, and things are going crazy. But to have praise knowing that this is only happening right now. Right? This is only happening right now. I understand that this may be happening now, but that there's going to be a time where this is not going to be happening. So to find a way to not say things like, why is this happening to me? God, why are you doing this? Yeah, I know people have said that. Because we're human. We can't help it. We can't help but to say things like that. But what if we start saying things like, Lord, I praise you because you're still good. Man, I praise you because you're still God. I praise you because you're still with me. Job. Mr. Job. Mr. Job. I wonder how they pronounce that. Is it Job or is it Job? One day, the collapse of everything. All your cattle, all your livestock, all your money, all your kids. Gone. One day. One day. Just one day. You didn't have time to get over one thing. Just one day. On February the 6th, when the hospital called, my brother, they called my brother, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And he called me. I was at my parents' house. I was asleep, and the phone was there. Don't judge me, but I keep my phone on silent. It's not always good. Not always. I just it's a habit. I keep it on silent so that it's not distracting me. So he called the house number, which when the phone rang, it scared the bejesus out of me. Because it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and anytime something like that's happening, or you get a 5 o'clock call, that's a sign something's not good. So I pick up the phone. I'm not, like, my heart is racing because he says, bro, yeah, look, man, hospital just called me. I was in town. I was there because to see my dad. And so he was like, yo, you gotta get to the hospital. And they talking that, they're not sure how long he got. Like, what? What? I'm like, are you serious? Go to the hospital, but before I went to the hospital, I was just like, it's kind of like, when you start staring down the barrel of a death, it's an interesting feeling because it's really, you can't see someone gone because you don't want that reality to be true. And at the time, I just was like, Lord, like, what's happening? I was in town seeing Mom. Mom wasn't doing well because she's battling cancer. I'm seeing her. I'm going to the hospital seeing him. He just so happened something happened to him, and all of a sudden he was in a dire situation. I'm just like, what is happening here? And I remember, man, it just was like, I just thought back to like, Lord, like whatever's happening, man, just, I thank you for it. Even though it was one of the hardest days of my life, literally watch my father breathe his last breaths. And then 20 days later, literally be in the room with my mom as she took her last breaths. And my mom had been pretty much unconscious for 3 days. And right before she died, it was like she tried to wake. Her eyes opened, and because she really had no breath left, she was trying to say something. Heartbreaking. Who's going to praise God when you experience that? Most intelligent, God, Bible-believing saints are not going to praise God when that happens. And I wasn't praising God at the time. I just knew who God was, and I knew that this was only for the glory of the Lord. I knew it. I didn't like it. I wasn't happy about it. But I knew this was for the glory of the Lord. I'm going to say something, man, because that was hard. And it's getting easier for me to tell that story without actually crying. But today I want you to think about something that God is nudging you to do, right? I want you to think about the life that God is calling you to live. And today I want you to remove every obstacle you have created about the thing. Just remove it. And start getting excited, right? Start praising God, even in the midst of the storm, even in the midst of the problem, even in the midst of the uncertainty, even in the midst of, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I want you to start praising Him. Like, I want you to just get in and just be like, Lord, I cannot believe you chose me for this. I cannot believe God chose me to be this guy, to be me. I'm seeing the manifestation of somebody that I don't know where this person came from. Like, where did he come from? He's like, boy, I sent you here just like this. You've been this way the whole time, and you had to come into yourself. See, because when we come here, we have no awareness of who we were or who we are. We have no awareness of that. So God made it so that you can't remember. You can't remember who you are. And the systems created in this realm have been created so that you won't remember. But what if there was a way to remember who you are? I just gave you 10 words. 10 words that will help you. They will help you to remember who you are. And today we focused on hope, forgive, serve, yes, and praise. These 5 words today potentially can help you unlock blessings upon blessings upon blessings that you don't even know. Like, blessings upon blessings. I just want you to know. So think about it like this. We've got 10 words that we've gone through. Bless, thankful, peace, love, faith, hope, forgive, serve, yes, and praise. Look, I said take 2 words, because you need to take 1 word from 1 through 5 and then 1 word from 6 through 10. Take 2 words. I would like for you to keep those words as your initial playbook for allowing God's blessing upon your life. take those words. You can even, challenge yourself over the next week, where all you're doing is speaking words of hope. All you're doing is speaking out of faith. All you're doing is speaking in the frame of having peace, and you're walking around with the blessings, so you are blessing others, saying yes, serving others, forgiving yourself, praising God, and always feeling hope. Challenge yourself to use these words. Use whatever I've shared in these 2 episodes to take your life to a level that God knows He's already planned for you. I believe it's possible. I believe that all things are possible when we partner with the creator of this universe, the God Himself. So guys, I want to thank you for joining me for another episode of the I AFYL Podcast. My name is Jay Moore. I'm a healthy accountant. I help people to account for their life. I help people save as much money as possible on taxes. In 2026 and beyond, I'll be helping, new and existing entrepreneurs, guys, make an additional $250,000 or start and make $250,000. Not by giving you a specific business model, not by giving you a whole bunch of tactics, but by allowing you to become the version of yourself, so that you can do the thing that you were created to do. That's how I'm going to help people. And if you're one of those people, you can definitely leave a comment somewhere around this video or wherever you're watching this, and I will reach out to you, comment to you, and then I can potentially share with you how this is going to work, so that if you would like to go to a new level in your life, your business, in whatever you like to do, write books, whatever it is, 2026 is going to be a great time to start. But here's the thing. If you're listening to this, you have an opportunity now to make a decision. Make a decision that 2026 is going to look way different than 2025, even if you had a great 2025. So, Jay Moore, Healthy Accountant. I will see you guys on the next episode. God bless you.
This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.